What's good, YouTube? Zay back with another video. Hey, hope y'all been enjoying these freaker videos where I'm putting y'all on game. This video is officially part 2 of me reading books so you don't have to. Today's book is The Top 10 Distinctions Between Millionaires and the Middle Class by Keith Cameron Smith. So in yesterday's video, I went over the first 5 distinctions, and today I'm going to be going over the next 5 distinctions, and this is where it gets really good. I feel like you're gonna learn something. I feel like these are all things that I use in my day-to-day life as a young kid or as a young adult who's seeking to pursue millionaire status. You know what I'm saying? Again, I said this in the last video. This does not mean that this is black and white. This does not mean that all millionaires do this. This does not mean that all middle class people do this. And this doesn't mean that middle class is bad. You know what I'm saying? Middle class is great. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like when you read things like this, it's just giving yourself and you're providing yourself with information to take that next step to become better, to do better with your finances, and just to have a lot of money, bro, and just do better with the money that you do have. You know what I'm saying? So I always advise you guys to read. But yeah, shout out my mama. She was mad I ain't shout her out in the last video because she gave me this book. You know what I'm saying? But shout out my dukes. You know what I'm saying? I love you, mama. You know what I'm saying? But now let's get into it. So, the first one for today's video, the first distinction between millionaires and the middle class is that millionaires work for profits and the middle class works for wages. Now, what does this necessarily mean? You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you guys have heard of wages, minimum wage, things of that nature. But this is pretty much saying, like, millionaires, they're not worried about how much they're per se making. They're making per... My bad, guys. Millionaires are not worried about how much money they're making per hour per se. You know what I'm saying? They're worried about how much can they profit on this play or this business move. If I do this with my business, how much money can I profit to put myself in a better position? Now, the book is saying that the middle class, they work for wages, so they're trying to consistently increase their wage. So say they start off making like 17, 18 per hour. They're trying to get that to like 20, then hopefully one day 30. You know what I'm saying? But millionaires, they don't think like this. They're thinking about how their business moves and their actions can continue to bring them bigger profits. You know what I'm saying? Once a business play lands or once something lands, you know what I'm saying? So for instance, bro, like if I throw a party, right? I'm trying to figure out how I could profit more this party than I did the last party. How I could cut my expenses and increase my revenue. You know what I'm saying? So that is the first distinction between millionaires and the middle class, is that millionaires work for profits and the middle class works for wages. The next distinction is that millionaires believe they must be generous. The middle class believes it can afford to give. And the first thing I think, hold up, I'm gonna let this wind blow by. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but I'm gonna say that again. Millionaires believe they must be generous. The middle class believes it can't afford to give. When I hear that, I'm basically hearing like scarcity mindset. You know what I'm saying? Middle class, not all, of course, but I'm just going off the book. You know what I'm saying? But middle class, they think it's a limited amount of money out here. You know what I'm saying? They think that there's only a certain amount of success that everybody can get. There's only a certain amount of opportunity. There's only a certain amount of money and what I was finna say. Yeah, it's only a certain amount. Scarcity mindset. You know what I'm saying? But it's saying that millionaires believe that they must be generous. They don't believe in scarcity mindset. They believe that they could give. And a lot of people will say, like, to me, like, I get in a lot of arguments with my friends and stuff. Not arguments, but just like debates. And they'll be like, a lot of rich people are greedy. And I'd be like, to be honest with you, I don't see that. Like, the rich people that I've encountered, they've been some of the most giving people. They donate a lot of their money to charity and things like that. People who are doing really well in their lives financially, they're some of the most generous and giving people. You know what I'm saying? They love to give, and they have no problem giving. I feel like a lot of the times that people who are doing less well with their financials or with their money, they may be hesitant to kind of give money to others or kind of donate money to certain things because they feel like there's a limited amount of money, when that's not the case. When you want to be a millionaire, when you want to be successful, when you want to be financially free, you know that there's an unlimited amount of money out there. Like, you can't put a cap on it. You can't have a scarcity mindset. You can't look at things. You can't hesitate to buy. If you're hungry, you can't, or if you say you start your morning with coffee, right? You can't hesitate to buy this $2 coffee if you want to have that millionaire mindset. You can't hesitate. You can't be, I don't want to spend $2 today. Now, not saying there's nothing wrong with budgeting, But you can't put your mind in that mindset of, oh, there's only a limited amount, like I can't do what I want to. Millionaires, they know that they have their time. They bought their time with their money. So they know that they could do whatever they want. And not in an unethical way, of course, but like they know they don't have to double guess certain decisions that they make on their day-to-day life, because they don't have that scarcity mindset, and they know there's an unlimited amount of money for all of us to go get. You just got to get up and go get it. Boom. Moving on to the next distinction between millionaires and the middle class. Millionaires have multiple sources of income, and the middle class only has one or two. Now, what do you think when you hear this? Me personally, bro, millionaires have multiple sources of income. I watched this video a few months ago. It was about Nipsey Hussle and his, what was it called? Sheesh. I'm blanking right now, y'all. My bad. What is it called? I just got off work, y'all, so my brain is like fried. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm trying to be consistent on this channel. You know what I'm saying? I got it. It was a video about Nipsey Hussle. It was called Vertical Integration, and Nipsey Hussle kind of explained what the vertical integration is. These are the multiple sources of income. So pretty much what Nipsey did was Nipsey Hussle was a hip hop artist, a rapper, and he would sell his CDs all manually. Like he wouldn't go to like a distributor. Like he would have his copies and stuff, and he would sell it all like that so he could get all the profit. But he connected his music. His music was connected to a certain lifestyle, and he called it the Marathon. I think his store was called the Marathon. He connected it all to a certain lifestyle. So he opened up the Marathon store, and he would sell multiple things. He would sell T-shirts, he would sell lighters, he would sell his music. And these are all different sources of income, kind of working in that vertical integration. And it's all coming together, but it's multiple sources, you know, kind of similar to what Apple does. They have the iPad. Once you get the iPad, you're gonna want the MacBook. It's just multiple things. Like you're kind of attacking different industries and making it all connect, and that is the vertical integration. And that's pretty much what I think of when I hear multiple sources of income. So for me, like, say you're a YouTuber, right? Boom, you do your YouTube, but your YouTube, if it's like a certain lifestyle, you have a certain message that you're trying to push. So you can capture that in a clothing brand. But boom, you also have the clothing brand, but you realize that your subscribers like, what could they like? Say you got a big like smoking fan base. You can sell lighters as well. All of these things are attached to your brand. You have multiple sources of income by multiple business ventures and attacking different industries. That's pretty much what I take. And it's saying that the middle class, they only have one or two sources of income. So they maybe only go to work and that could be your only income. But you always want to have a side hustle, something else bring you money, something else that you're good at. For me, I'm good at like editing videos. Some people will pay me to edit videos. I'm good at hosting, I'm good at entertaining. These are all different sources of income, and it gotta make sense though. You don't just wanna be going out and doing different things. But yeah, that's that. The next distinction, millionaires focus on increasing their net worth. The middle class focuses on increasing their paychecks. This is kind of similar to the first one that I discussed in today's video. Millionaires, what a net worth is pretty much your assets minus your liabilities. You know what I'm saying? So everything that you own minus everything that you owe. You know what I'm saying? So millionaires, they focus on increasing their net worth. You know, they want to own more stocks. You know, they want to own more properties. They're focused on different things, different assets, and they want to grab different assets to kind of boost their net worth. But the middle class, they're focused on how can I increase my paycheck from this job? How can I get more money from this job? How can I work more for somebody else's vision? That's what I hear when I see that. So yeah, ownership is a big thing, and ownership plays a lot into your net worth. So make sure you're owning things, make sure you're owning stocks, properties, whatever it is that you want to own. Make sure you're increasing your assets and your net worth. And yeah, that'll distinguish you from a millionaire in the middle class. And the last one for today's video is millionaires ask themselves empowering questions. Middle class people ask themselves disempowering questions. That one's very simple. For example, let's say you have a business idea, right? A millionaire, he will think of how I can pour into this business, how I can make this business as big as I want it to be. What can I do to make this business successful? A middle class person, they will look at all the bad things, all the things that can go wrong. You know what I'm saying? They're asking themselves disempowering questions. So like, what if this fails? What if this doesn't go the right way? What if I don't have enough money to start up? Millionaires aren't thinking like that. They're empowering themselves. They're asking themselves, okay, if this may go wrong, but how can I do everything in my power to prevent it from going wrong? You know what I'm saying? What can I do? How can I empower this business? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, bro, make sure you're asking yourself empowering questions. For an example, like I just said, bro, don't ask yourself, why can't you? Ask yourself, why can you? Just changing your mindset. You know what I'm saying? Why are you the one that can do this task? Not why can't you do it? You know what I'm saying? Always focus on what you do have and not what you don't have. That's what my father always told me. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That is it for the 10 distinctions between millionaires and the middle class. I'm gonna be coming more with some more books that I've read. You know what I'm saying? This is the name of the book. If you guys want to read it for yourself, it is only like 105 pages, bro. I read this book in like 2 days. It's very quick. You know what I'm saying? Definitely recommend. Thank y'all for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all on the next video. Peace.